6-minute podcast. Business, study, life.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You know, it seems like everywhere you turn these days, it's all about the hustle, right? Side gigs, maximizing income, two-income families.
It's the norm, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. But it really got me thinking, is that always the best thing? Especially for the kids. Does having more money actually outweigh maybe having a little less mom and dad time?
That's a tough one.
It is. So that's what we're going to deep dive into today. We're going to look at some pretty compelling research that tackles both sides of this whole two-income family debate. We'll be looking at stuff from the Institute for Family Studies, the Child Development Institute, and even a study from UC.
Sounds fascinating. You know, even just thinking about all the families I know growing up, so many of them had both parents working.
Right. It was just the standard.
Totally. Nobody really questioned it.
But now looking back, it does make you wonder, what was the trade-off there?
What did those kids gain and what did they maybe miss out on?
Exactly. Okay, so let's jump right in. The first thing everyone usually brings up is obviously the financial benefits of having two incomes. And, the data kind of backs that up.
Yeah.
The Institute for Family Studies found that families with two working parents were way more likely to be financially secure, 37% more likely.
Wow. That's a pretty significant difference.
It is. I mean, they could cover all the basics, no problem, and still have something left over for emergencies.
Yeah.
That peace of mind, it's got to count for something.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. When you're not constantly stressed about money, that stress just kind of permeates everything, right?
Yeah, it affects everyone in the family for sure.
Especially the kids. That study actually found that children in those families had way lower stress levels related to finances.
Makes sense, right? I mean, if you're a kid constantly hearing your parents fight about money, that's got to weigh on you.
Oh, 100%. No kid deserves to carry that burden.
But get this, though. This same study that found all these amazing financial advantages, it also found that kids in these families were more likely to report feeling, emotionally neglected.
See, there's the trade-off.
Right. It's 15% more likely to say they felt neglected.
Yeah, that makes you think, what are we really prioritizing here?
And it brings up another huge question. What happens to those kids down the line? Are there long-term consequences to missing out on that quality time with your parents?
That's where the Child Development Institute comes in. They did a ton of research on this, and they found that, those little everyday moments, like just chatting with your kids at dinner or reading bedtime stories, they actually really matter.
They really make a difference.
A huge difference. It's all about building that foundation of emotional security. And when kids miss out on that, it can affect their social skills, their emotional regulation, all sorts of things later on in life.
Wow, I honestly hadn't thought about it that way before. It's almost like, even with the best intentions, parents who are working all the time could be, without even realizing it, setting their kids up for some challenges later on.
It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it?
It really is. It makes you wonder, is there any way to balance this out? Is there a magic formula?
It's funny you should ask that. This study from UC, they actually looked at that exact question. And what's really interesting is they found that it's not just about the amount of time parents spend with their kids, it's about the quality of that time.
Okay, so instead of just being physically present, you have to be actually present.
Exactly. They found that even short bursts of focused, intentional interaction can have a huge positive impact on a kid's well-being.
Huh. So it's not just about being home for dinner every night. It's about making that dinner time really count.
Precisely. Put away the phones, turn off the TV, and just connect with your kids.
That makes a lot of sense, but it does put a lot of pressure on parents to get it right.
I agree. And that brings up a whole other point. Is this really just a problem for individual families to solve?
What do you mean?
Well, this research really makes you think about how we, as a society, can better support working parents, right?
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
What if there were more flexible work schedules? Or more affordable childcare options? Maybe we need a bigger cultural shift that really prioritizes family time.
I like that, a cultural shift.
It's not about pointing fingers or judging anyone's choices. It's about creating a system that supports families no matter what their work situation looks like.
Exactly. It sounds like there's no easy answer here.
Not at all. But that doesn't mean there's no hope. This research highlights some potential downsides of the whole two-income thing, but it also shows us that it's not an impossible situation.
Right. It's not all doom and gloom.
Nope. With open communication, some creative solutions, and a true focus on quality time, we can create environments that work for everyone, parents and kids alike.
Well said.
6-minute podcast. Business, study, life.